Greetings, and welcome back to Unbeatable. This is the series where I build weird and wacky cars and attempt to beat the unbeatable AI in Forza Horizon 5. Today we have this, a 1963 VW bus, or Type 2 Deluxe, whatever name you would prefer. This is a rather stranger platform to start with than the previous two episodes. So, naturally, I'm going to upgrade this to A class and go road racing with it. This will leave a lot of room for upgrades. But with the aerodynamic properties of a barn, this may pose a challenge when I take it sprint racing. However, I shall give it an attempt. One other thing I may be doing is leaving it rear-wheel drive. Because where's the fun in it being all-wheel drive? I'm going to stick on semi-slicks for now. Just have a look. I also seem to have done a different build on this previously, but not quite sure what that was. I might leave front wheels that thick for now. It's kind of difficult to tell currently what upgrades I'm going to need. So I'll sort of work my way up and slowly adding upgrades. Now, I definitely don't want the aero. That's already not got the greatest amount of top speed. Why not add this though? Seems a bit of fun, really. Yeah, I'm going to need a different engine though. There's an air-cooled Beetle engine is not going to cut it with 50 horsepower. Right. Flat 4 Turbo Rally or Flat 6 from Porsche? I think. I'm terrible with knowing what engine was in what car. That'll give about 500 horsepower. I think that'll be good. Sounds pretty good. I think I'll just upgrade the exhaust and then get back to handling upgrades. I'm going to try and take the weight out of this. Yep, that works. It's always useful getting the higher weight reduction upgrades there. The first upgrade barely does anything. I'm also going to want better brakes, certainly. Let's go there. Rethinking the tyre choice. I think slicks might be useful. Really not showing a high amount of handling. Granted, the stats in Forza, I take them with a pinch of salt. They don't mean the greatest deal sometimes. This is why you notice me looking at the power and things at times. Think I'll go for 215s. Oh yeah, because I still haven't got the gearbox. Gearbox is important here. It doesn't increase PI, luckily. Yeah. Sometimes the street and the sport transmissions, they'll reduce PI or maintain PI. It's a bit strange sometimes. Just put a race diff in here. I'm sure that'll be needed. So 3 PI to play with. Might just increase the tire width. I think I'm going to need a decent amount of grip here. But with no PI left, I should probably just lighten the driveline. So, The barn is complete. Let's see if we can actually beat anything on a sprint race. I shall join you after tuning at the race. So, I've taken this VW to a Panoramica Sprint. It's located in Guanajuato. I'm not going to pronounce that properly, so I'm going to stop attempting before I offend any Mexicans possibly watching this. As the Evo has a look up the inside, and there's a massive crash between everyone ahead. So, yeah, I'm struggling slightly with the rear in this VW, especially over these bumps. So it's to be expected. Is just over 500 horsepower going through rear wheels in a car really not designed for it at all. As for some reason a converted design F-150, F-250 was leading. As I'm already into a lead, this is not quite what I was expecting. So I don't have too much wheel spin and oversteer around that section. Braked a bit early and on a strange line through there, but I'll keep it in third to stop any massive slides coming out of that section. It's quite useful sometimes just leaving a rear-wheel drive car in a higher gear coming out of corners, just so you don't slide a bit like that, and to get a bit unsettled over the bumps in that section. I seem to be driving away from this pre-runner, which, to be honest, is not surprising. Can't imagine that gets slick tyres, which is why it's a strange choice for the AI to do, but hey ho. Don't know how much it actually affects the finishing time of these AI, as someone has got past it. Yes, the Eclipse back there, but I couldn't quite see. Long range car spotting, not the most effective. Big smack on the wall on the outside, but not too much harm as I missed the apex through these corners as well. Excellent driving being shown here, but we've come to the end of the first event. There's a win. Not really much trouble from the AI that time. I assume they got really stuck behind that Liberty F-150. But a win is a win against these AI. I shall meet you for a second attempt. So, with a successful first round, I'm up for a second attempt. Now that went better than I anticipated. I suspect with the other AI getting held behind a massive F-150, that helped quite considerably. And also the fact that the straights aren't that long at this sprint race. Really, there's a massive tangle with a D-type there. And the Cayman just having a little go as well. Seemed to outpace the Toyota, but the Gremlin puts me into the street furniture around there as I go around the outside of, is it a Gremlin or Pacer? Very difficult sometimes telling. Massive kick of oversteer, as to be expected when you're not paying attention. However, a Ford has got past the F-150, Ford Deluxe, and as I dive down the inside of both the Willys and the Pre-Runner, the Porsche does the same manoeuvre. Now, I don't seem to be getting this corner right, slowing a bit too early into that corner, as the Porsche takes a very strange line through that section. the VW gets very unsettled there. Throws me wide. Managed to keep it out the wall though, as I chase down this Deluxe Coupe. Over halfway through, we're in second, so it's doing pretty well. Especially as I'm so close to this Ford ahead. Seem to have a bit more grip with his slick tyres. And a bit more power. Not quite what I was expecting. Don't think aero is the way to upgrade properly for sprint races. It just doesn't seem to be the best with massive speed penalties. Again, another kick of oversteer while fiddling with the camera. Not quite flat through there as I hit the wall on the outside and miss the braking point. The Ford has a go up the inside, so I try and give it space and stupidly go into the wall on the outside. Can I get it in the final corner? Takes a strange line through there and I dive down the inside, getting the overtake at the end. A few very stupid mistakes through that section. But the VW seems to be very fast indeed. Even with my terrible driving. We still beat it the second time round. Question is, can I go 3 for 3? Should join you in that attempt. So, for the third and final attempt, I shall see if I can get 3 for 3, the first of this series. As I fight with the Mitsubishi, unintentionally just knock the rear as during the launch. I seem to have far better acceleration out of his corners. The 500 horsepower from what I think is a Porsche flat 6 tends to be where flat 6s come from. It's doing me very well. I assume with the low top speed, Forza somehow calculates it. It simulates the car on a circuit and determines that's how I believe it works. It simulates a car on a circuit and calculates the PI from that. Assuming that the top speed comes a factor of that, I think this would be quite good out of these acceleration zones. Alright, so let's see if I can take a better line through this section. I do, but get stopped by the AMC ahead. However, I cut down the inside of it in the next corner. Let's try and not unsettle the car through that section and still have a bit of a jump. You can just simply out-corner that F-150. There's no real challenge there. Porsche has followed during this section. Go a bit wide and tap the outside wall. Try and cut underneath this Ford. It's almost fall over and fall in front of the Ford. Big kick of oversteers, which prevents me from completing that overtake. So try and not put the Ford in any wall. And the Porsche is still having a look behind. Got only a couple more straights, but yet again, the acceleration out of these corners is immense by this VW. Simply outclasses the Ford acceleration, but yet again, make the same mistake in hitting the wall on the outside there. I just think I can push a bit more than I really can. I'd need aero to do that. As yet again, I have poor lines through this section. It doesn't matter though. I've completed 3 for 3. That VW is very quick indeed around there. Surprised me how quick that was. So today the AI had no chance really. The VW seemed to be just too quick. despite all the mistakes I was making and how far on one side I was at one point, as well as the F-150 getting in the way of pretty much everything each attempt. So, I hope you have enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment what other wacky builds I can do, and how wacky this build was in fact. We shall see you next time. Have fun!